are finally doing our Make the Dot video, and that's MakeTheDot.com. As you can see, it is a design tool that is, when I say it gives you the mind of a designer, but online. It's really incredible, from fabric research, as you can see, color research. They have the Pantone colors on there. And it's a real-time collaboration tool as well. And it's really pulling in all of your design skills that you would normally do in other programs, and like your Illustrator and your Photoshop, and creating your mood boards and all different types of softwares into one online tool. So it's really, really cool, and it follows your design journey in real time, I want to say. Your real-time thought process, your real-time research, your real-time product development. There's all these different tools in here, even the AI tools helping you iterate, helping you find the fabric, helping you talk to your team. I really do love Make the Dot, and I think it's really for designers who are developing product. As you can see, there's a lot of people using it, from students to professionals inside of the fashion industry. It is a fantastic tool. So let's jump into it and see how I use it. I learned about it a few months ago, maybe almost a year ago, I want to say. And like I say, they have collaboration tools. They even have a blog, how to. They hire. They have a We Hiring on their page. And the Pro is the lowest version. It's $35 a month. So this is one of my first boards that I successfully enjoyed making once I started to learn the tools. So Toto Chanel. But yeah, there are a lot of different tools. As you can see, you can pull colors out of different images to create your own color palette. So that's what I was doing here. And I also had some 3D images. I'm just deleting some fabrics that are no longer available. So once the fabric's not available, it will be like an empty image. But yeah, so I'm pulling everything together to just kind of get a look at maybe a collection starting to happen, and maybe some some details that I want to pull out from some AI images that I use, and some real images from the internet, whether it be Pinterest or WGSN, or wherever you might find your inspiration. They have this cool tool. You could iterate or bring in your iterations from another program, and you could actually cut out the images so that there are no backgrounds. So I'm just bringing in a few different variations on my 3D. There's a 3D jacket there that I iterated in another program, and as you can see, you can just pull it in, drag and drop. But you can also remove the background. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove this background by cutting it out, reading my tooltips, and just creating, they don't do that little box anymore, so it's actually just creating the cutout and all of its details. So you could actually remove different parts of the garment if you want, but I'm just going to cut out the background and use that as an overlay for showing the variations. And once you do that, you can also look up the fabric. This is one of my favorite tools. So I can go ahead and start to name and start to give details for all of these different images. So whatever you put on here, you have the opportunity to write it down. That way your team is actually going in and looking at the different, you can start a conversation with just adding some information to your image. So all of the image details, description, the date, actually it links, if you get something from the internet and you put it on your board, I'll show you in a minute, it actually creates a link for you to actually go back. How many times have you found something on the internet and you have no idea where it is? I know I've experienced this, and this tool, Make the Dot, actually helps with that. It actually helps you like refine the images. Maybe you need it in a higher resolution, or maybe you actually need to pass it on to someone else by downloading it or putting it into some other format to send out. These are tools that designers need. I really feel like using this, it's like almost like a second brain. Um, it's almost like a second brain because you can, like I said, add comments. You can let people know, like, hey, I'm redoing this 3D, or hey, I don't like this piping. And the team is going to get a notification, whoever you're working with. But for some of these things, just going into the fabric library, these are real live fabrics. When I say real life fabrics, they're from mills, and they show you actually the availability of the fabric. Like I saw in the beginning, when things are not available, the image will disappear. So you really can't dig deep into what's available in the market and what's available right now to kind of go ahead and get some starter samples made, or even just to get an idea of the content, the fiber content, the yield, the yardage that's available, the yardage width that's available, and just know that, you know, hey, this is something that you can actually source. I think sourcing people would appreciate this, you know, real time look at the actual size of the fiber, the fabric, all of that is available in MakeTheDot, which I think is fantastic because it is so hard to go to the market right now. Everything is digital, but this is actually giving you an idea of what the actual fabric looks like. I have a friend that always says, I need to touch it, I need to feel it. Well, this is close enough, and you can actually order it and touch it and feel it. I like the fact that I can put my 3D garments on here as well, which kind of ties in, you know, the design and 3D element. So here I am just making my board. A lot of these images you see I got from just some AI images referencing different, there are some images that I got from Pinterest or from other different sources online stores. But for the most part, I like the fact that I can use, you know, AI to create images that don't infringe on anyone's copyright, sort of. But also, I can create unique looks that I want to use for this theme. This theme is a little bit random. Like I said, this was the first time that I was using it, and you know, I'm just going after using the style builder right now. So you can pull in an image or a sketch, and you can actually ask it to iterate for you. You just have a few selections, like the type of fabric that you want and the color that you want, and it will actually put out some iterations. I think there are 4 iterations it gives you of that actual sketch or garment. So if you have a picture that you got from online, but you want to see it in a different fabric, this can actually help you do it within the actual program. So now it's showing me what that jacket may look like with quilted fabric in a darker tone. So it's giving me dark buttons, it's giving me dark trim instead of a white piping. I can see it with a dark piping, and I can go ahead and put that on my board. And then I can use the cutout feature to make sure that it doesn't have a background if I want to overlay it onto something else. So what is this all about? This is all about assisting your design process, and giving you the tools that actually allow you to, you know, get the thought out of your mind while you're still building a collection. So these different tools, you can go ahead and make slight changes to pieces of the garment, or trims. You can pretty much erase some trims if you want, or you can just get another iteration after you have changed the color or done some other type of changes. So even though I am iterating a different jacket right now, you can see that it's still going to give me just a few hints, a few changes, and I can go ahead and add that to the collection in the board. So I can just highlight it by the pieces that are showing in the garment. So if I wanted to change the gussets to gray, or the flanges or the collar, I can actually do that, and then I am good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the scene. I think it's important as a designer to be able to have the tools at your fingertips when you're thinking of things. And this is really what AI is all about. And with tools like MakeTheDot, is you can do so many different things while you're thinking and creating, and you don't have to jump in and out of different programs. Eventually you will, when it's time for production or when you're going into 3D, but this is where you can kind of hash out all of those things in your mind and not be afraid to iterate in one space. I think it's important to be able to see your vision laid out. I think a lot of times we see a lot of 3D images, but we don't always get to see how, everything comes together into a collection, especially. So having a tool like this where you can just go ahead and lay things out. It doesn't have to be as big and over the top. You can actually just lay out a few things at once and see where your mind takes you. So this is what a tool like this does. You can get all of the colors. It has a color picker. You can color pick and get your Pantone colors out of there. You can actually get it out of some of the fabrics. You might see a fabric in the fabric library, and you can actually pull some colors out of that in order to see, more of a color vision for the collection. So this is really a great tool. Like I said, you can iterate it. So now it's not only that, right? So you can also, besides just laying everything out, you can organize it, right? Because they've got tools like text, and they've got, you can title everything, which we're going to see that in just a second. But these are tools that can get you a long way in the design process, and you can be ready for presentation. The art boards you can resize. You can definitely, like I said, I'm going to use the color picker here. I see that there are a lot of different blues, and it might just look like nothing to you, but is it gray, is it blue, like what are you actually looking for? If you want to also add your own fabrics, this is a fabric that I made a while back and I wanted to put it into one of the groups. You can import your own fabric and write all of the information. So it's also good for sourcing in that way, meaning you might have your own fabric library from your sourcing person, or from repeat fabrics that you guys have already done or developed, and you can just import them and put in all the pertinent information, and everything's all in one space. And you could communicate with your team as to which fabric you're pulling in and where you're placing it, showing them your vision. Basically, I made this fabric and I'm going to go ahead and put it into the group that's all glittery and shiny. And then I'm going to go ahead and start to organize some of the text that will go along with this board. I am by no means used to making boards, so it might seem a little bit crazy to some of you, but just know that your process is your own, and I'm not telling anybody that this is how you make a board or this is what you're supposed to do, because it's just me expressing myself. It's an artistic expression as well. So go ahead and look up MakeTheDot.com and start your process. Start your process with their mood boards and see everything that you can get together. I mean, start small if you need to, but again, you can organize things. They've got lots of fonts, so you can kind of stick to your own branding. You can put your sketches, if you have sketches from Procreate or from Illustrator, you can actually do that. When Doves Cry is my favorite song in the world, and you could just go ahead and do that. But what happens, it's part of the design process, right? So I go ahead and name this one Nautical Miles, and then I realized there's no nautical influences. There's no nautical influences, so I have to go ahead and get some more influences, right? So it helps you to create and fill in the gaps because it's laid out. No matter where you go, if I go to WGSN to get some nautical references, which is what I'm going to do here, quilted nautical jackets, and I'm going to go ahead and get some nautical references, it still links to the actual site to where you pull your references. So if you go on Runway Photos and you see that this is a perfect reference of a big gold button, a quilted jacket in a navy blue color, and you find your references, MakeTheDot's still going to give you that link as to where you pulled that image from. So it's not going to be a mystery as to whether it's Ralph Lauren you're pulling from or Calvin Klein or whoever. You're going to actually know by the link exactly where everything is. So this is one of my favorite things too. So the fabric, pulling out the Pantone colors, actually being able to resize things and lay it out visually to see is really some of the key things that I like about it. So I'm going to go ahead and pull some of these things out and put it into my nautical board. I'm going to speed this up just for now. What you're looking at though is a very important tool, which is the Chrome extension. So if you see there's a little dot right here, this is using the Chrome extension that comes with MakeTheDot, and this is how you get your links. This is how it tracks the links that you pull everything from. So you definitely, if you want that feature, you definitely need to work with the extension for Chrome. And it's really simple. You just turn it on, you turn it off, you turn it on, you turn it off, and it saves everything, and it actually saves to whichever board that you want. So you can see at the bottom here that it's saving it. It gives me a drop down menu of what to save. It shows me how many images I have to upload, and then I can do all of that all at once. So now once everything is saved to this board, now I got my nautical influences, and I just moved a few things around. I moved the scenery off the board so I could make more room for the fashion, and some sketches up there. And this is it. Basically, by me laying everything out, I can go ahead and track my links and communicate with my team, or see what my collection is looking like color-wise, reference-wise. I can see all of my aesthetics and make sure everything is kind of gelled before I actually start designing. So for this dress, from our previous video, I did use MakeTheDot, and I'm not going to go through all of the steps, but the first thing I went to look for was the fabric. What type of fabric would be available to create this kimono dress? And I was so glad that I was looking for a place to like do the presentation. And once I realized that MakeTheDot actually had a listing of a fabric that was so similar to what I was actually designing, that I was like, let me just go ahead and use MakeTheDot to complete the presentation that you'll see at the end. But this is why we have tools like this, and you trust them, and you kind of, it has everything you need in order to present your thoughts in a cohesive way, or in a way that matters to you, or is in your own style, your own flavor, whatever. So MakeTheDot is really intuitive for designers. It's incredible that it gives you real time what's going on with the fabric market, but also in making this dress, in the process of getting, you know, 3D and AI and all of these different design tools to work together to create something. This was a pleasure to work with. So I kind of stuck in here and just made it all happen within this space. There are a few other tools. I did use Illustrator for some call outs. That's an update that's going to happen in the near future inside MakeTheDot. But also just to have everything, being able to print it as a PDF, being able to use it as an artboard type of workflow, where if I wanted to package it and email it out to someone, this was also a great fabric I thought of using this. So once I got the fabric straight, I went ahead and did the layout. Now Style3D was really able to give me color iterations, but it was really hard to find a good AI print maker. So I did struggle a little bit with AI prints. Sometimes they come out very juvenile, and sometimes they come out just not what you explained or expected AI to do. So I think prints still have a little bit of work in the AI world. So I still think like you're better off to start to get a reference or inference maybe from AI, and then go ahead into making your own prints if you know how to do that. But if not, I was able to get here with some of the AI prints. So I'm going to tell you, none of the prints that you're going to see came from an actual print design. They're all AI prints, except for what you see in front of you right now. This is the actual Britex fabric. And now I realize that I only have solids. I don't have a whole lot of prints. So I do go on a journey to get here. So this is the final presentation in MakeTheDot. I put my AI reference there. I put my 3D reference. I put my Style3D AI reference. Some colorways, some solid colors, some flat design, or I should say schematic design. Style3D now has a schematic design that you can do ray trace render with. So that was very refreshing. I did do a layout, fabric yield. I did do some call outs, so this is really all about one style, but there's a lot of work that goes into it. So we can get there faster, but it's still work behind. It's still design work behind getting all of these things done in one place. So now I'm super satisfied with MakeTheDot, and I showed you all of the different aspects of the tool, and you can make your decision of how you want to be able to present your design or your collection. This is just one dress, guys. Okay, I took it to the next level with all of the colorways and all of the prints and all of the call outs and everything, which is design, right? That's what we're doing. So right now I want you to just go ahead and try out MakeTheDot. I'm not going to give you any like code or anything like that. If you use it, drop a comment or visit me online and let me know that you did it in my Instagram or on LinkedIn. I tend to be on LinkedIn a lot these days with my newsletter. But go ahead and let me know how you like it below in the comments. And I look forward to showing you the next step in this process, because I'm not done yet. So let's look at the PDF together, and then I will show you what other steps you can take in order to show your design with some of the online tools that are happening in the world today. So yes, don't hate my, don't judge me. I haven't been doing design layouts in quite some time, but I think you guys get the feeling of what I'm doing. And here I'm showing my narrowed AI inspiration. These are from Raspberry AI, which I feel is one of the best iterators out there right now. So these are all Raspberry AI, and then the 3D is from, on the right is from Style3D AI. And these are the fabrics that are actually, can use the fabric information there for you to see what the content is, availability. And here is a actual AI flat sketch. This was before I was able to render them out from the 3D program. Solid colors, and these solids came out of Style3D AI with the dress. So just putting in the dress, and then I was able to get all of these colorways out. And then this is the print work. None of those prints are from actual prints. They're all AI prints. So you have to work it, but you can work it. So there are a few variations, and each of the waistbands actually have a different contrast fabric, and then the solid color contrast. And this is my printout from Style3D. Well, now you can print your schematic renders in ray trace format. And here's my details, and here is actual yield that I also got from Style3D. So working with all of these tools together, this is how you get to your design these days. These are the days. Lot less work, but still work. Okay, it's still, you still gotta design. You gotta know what you're doing, right? So I'm taking all of these tools, I'm putting together things just to show you how you actually would have to have the option of doing. You know what I mean? Like, this is just the final inspiration and the 3D render. That's it, guys. But there's something else that I did after this, and I hope you can stay for 10 more minutes while I show you this tool. Okay, so I guess my search is for a place to show my 3D and my 2D work and combine them all together. So Embodee has a product called Folio. This is me uploading my designs to Folio. Now I'm uploading my 3D designs into the platform via GLB. They have plugins for Clo 3D and for Browseware, so you can directly upload from those platforms. I do a lot of work in Style 3D, so I know that's probably something that is to come as far as the plugins are concerned. But if not, you still can just download your GLB and upload manually. This is me uploading like a batch style, so I'm uploading multiple GLBs at one time. And Embody is just a platform for you to be able to view and link your 3Ds, sort of like I guess it's like a platform for you to showcase your 3D work and showcase it in more detail, but also have it protected. You're going to see that there is a watermark function that they have. Like I said, you can do multiple uploads. It is a speedy way to show your 3D work without heavy files or sending heavy files. You just send a link actually to the 3D. So you can see the dresses are uploading. And we're just going to click on the Shibori dress. When you have your upload, you can just go ahead and, change the names. You can edit the whole thing to give it some kind of specific naming function that you want. Right now, I'm just keeping it simple with kimono dress. You will see on the left hand side that you can set up folders and set up categories and set up your own special organization. This is great for having your 3D organized. So if you have a project or if you want to show someone details, or you're actually getting a project from someone, you can actually use this feature. So you don't have to, in order to view your project files, people don't have to have the actual software, because it's a link that kind of plays almost like a Sketchfab kind of way. If you know anything about that, it just shows on the screen in like a HTML format where you can actually see the 3D. So we're just going to look at it. I've uploaded 4 colorways. Each colorway each colorway is a separate file, so you can get around that, and that's why I'm uploading multiple ones, so I can go ahead and stack them into one presentation. But not to show you too much about this tool just yet. I am working with it, but I do want to make sure that I know all of the parameters as far as like the material processes, the lighting processes that are actually within there. You can tag, which is a great way for organizing your work. So if there's a blue, if I'm looking for something and it's blue, or if I'm looking for a certain kind of blue, I can kind of look up this feature. But you can go ahead and make sure that your resolution is good. You can resize things. You can actually, share it. You can make sure you save it. You can lock it. You can allow it to be public or private. I can add certain files that I want to stick with this actual feature. So I'm just going to go ahead and, upload the prints. I think I downloaded them from some AI file service, and I'm just going to find them and upload the prints. Now, one of the things that you have to be sure of is the naming. One of the things that I noticed is that Embodee doesn't like long names. So I end up renaming things in order to get it into the platform safely, because here it just didn't show up for some reason. And I'm not sure if it was the size of the print, or I think it was the name. Once I changed the name, and then it was no problem. So it was there. I actually also uploaded the AI MP4, which was the video that I made for the dress. So if someone clicks on that, it's going to download. I also uploaded the schematic with the measurements on it. And all of these can be, like I said, tagged, and they can also be put into what's called a oh man, I forgot. A space. When you're my age, you have long pauses. So even if I want to go ahead and focus on something, if I want to add comments, I can. I can focus in, make a snapshot, and then I can add comments. So if I have more team members on here, then they would all see my comment and they would know exactly where that comment was placed. There are a lot of, I want to say, higher end tools that have that function. Even some PLM tools have that function. So right now I can see that there's an update, there's a little red thing, and I can see that there's a comment there. And I can go ahead and make a space for this garment in another part of the platform. So I can go ahead and make turntables, GIFs, animated things. I can also do that, and I can always keep my watermark on. That is one of the things that is protecting your 3D image from being stolen or used. There's a way you can just toggle on and off the, you're going to see it in just a second, the watermark. So once I select all of my images, if I zoom in, it's gonna, whatever's on the screen, it's gonna snap that picture. So you can go ahead and make all different views that you want just by manipulating your 3D image in the screen. Some of the lighting features I need to get a little bit used to using, but there are several IBL lights. The IBL lights are kind of like your daylight or your environment lighting. Not so much like the lighting that comes with the studio or actually with your 3D. So now if I want to go ahead and start a new space, I can name it and I could just name it the same as the dress. And then I could get everything that I need to get. I eventually put everything that we saw in the PDF in this space. But just so you know, all of the views that you save, you can go ahead and put them onto an artboard. But each view is actually a 3D view. So I tend to put, you know, more than one view on the image just so you can see it without clicking. But once you're familiar with how to use this, if you show it or if you preview it or when you send out the link, you can actually see that it's a 3D link. So let's go ahead and take a look at the link really quickly and I'll show you how that works. Yeah, so it's just previewing your dress in 3D. This actually does not have the watermark on it. I have to get that clip back somewhere, but there is a watermark available. But this is it. You just show it like this, and you know, once you've got everything all together in all of your pages, you can go ahead and send that link out, and people can just click on each image and like a presentation, like I guess a PowerPoint type of presentation with 3D functionality. If you see as I hover, there's a little black box. And then this is like another page in the presentation. So you'll get the pop-up and then you get all the information and that's it. That's how you use Embodee's folio for your portfolio. And that's it. Bye-bye.